Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander Tactical. Today we're looking at another rifle bag from the Polish company Wisport, or I guess it would probably be pronounced Wisport as it's a Polish company. I hope they don't mind if I say, as I say Wisport or Wisport, or I'll probably float between the two. Anyway, so we previously looked at the Wisport 120, which for me was perfect. 2-gun day. I could take a full-length rifle and I could take a carbine with me. This is the Wisport 100, which I'm sure you could probably guess is just ever so slightly smaller, but there's a few other features that have slightly changed on it. So for the 120, I'll leave a link here so that you can see that content, but for now let's turn the camera around and take a closer look at the Wisport Rifle 100. Okay, now as we usually do, we'll go through some measurements and we'll have a look at some materials, and then we'll go through the features of the bag itself. Just have to excuse my little kneeling mat there for a second. Okay, measurements wise, first in new money, okay, so it comes in at 100, so the full length of this is 100 centimeters, it's 30 centimeters across, and it's 8 centimeters deep. If you're after that in inches, that is 39 inches, well 39.4 inches by 11.8 inches and 3.1 inches deep. The material that this is made from, so this is made from a 500D Cordura and is absolutely bomber. Certainly one thing that I'll commend Wisport for is all of the materials, all of the hardware that they use on here is, yeah, it's pretty freaking tough. Weight wise, so I mean you could argue that they could have gone up to 1000D, but they stuck with 500D, which I think is just about right. It's meant that the weight comes in when there's nothing in this and it's completely dry. This comes in at 1.5 kilos, 1500 grams, which I think is great. It could have been lighter, but let's face it, you've got your rifles in here, you want to make sure that they're nice and safe, so nobody's ever really going to argue about that additional weight. There's also a couple of carrying options with this, which we will have a look as part of this as well. So whether you want to carry it as a rucksack, whether you want to carry it on the side, all of that sort of stuff, then there's a few different carrying options depending as well on how many rifles that you have in there. Colours wise, this is in RAL 7013. And I love this colour, really do love this colour. I think it just looks kick-ass. I'm a huge fan of these different tones of greens rather than like an OD green. RAL 7013 looks really cool. I also like range green, all of those kind of off green colours where they've just got a little bit more kind of brown in there, a little bit more blue, a little bit more grey in there, which just gives it, for me, I feel it's just more of a natural colour. But at the end of the day, this is just for me to take rifles with me when I'm skirmishing or to the range, or whatever it is that I'm doing. I certainly don't need to have to worry about blending into the environment. However, if that is something that you're concerned about, there are several different flat colours, from blacks, coyotes, greys, to multicam and other different camera combinations that you can get with this as well. All of your zips, so the zips on here, I believe they're a Polish company called Krakow, but have had no issues with their zips at all. All of the buckles on here, these are all Duraflex buckles, which again, really nice. Mil-spec webbing when it comes to the PALS webbing on here, and then in certain positions there's some hook and loop there as well. All of the additional webbing, which I mentioned, we'll look at the carrying options with this, is all up to a very high standard as well. Now, going round the features, so the first thing hopefully that you'll notice, the difference between the 100 and the 120 is, well, actually the first one is the fact that the 120 has an extra 20 centimeters here on the end. So if you've got rifles, then it's perfect for those, where if you've got shorter rifles, carbines, then this is really what this one is aimed at. Plus the other main difference is with this one, you just have this one pocket here, whereas the 120 has another pocket here. But I will say that the difference between the two is actually quite nice, mainly because it just gives you the advantage with this, that maybe if you have something on here, you already have a certain pouch that you use. Maybe you've got your tools in there, maybe you've got cleaning kits in there, whatever it is that you use, you can attach this to here rather than having to worry about whether or not it will fit in one of these pockets. Now these pockets are really big. I'll leave the measurements here for it, but you can fit a lot in here. There is a compression strap, which is great that it's on there, but if you want to, you can completely remove this. Again, it's a nice feature, just so that you can cinch down anything that's in, and you do have two of those. On the front, you have a zipped pocket here, which you can open up, which, as you can imagine, I keep tools in, I keep my cleaning kit in, I keep lots of different things in there, just in case they're needed. This zips up, and then behind here is your main pocket. So the way that this opens, I guess you kind of class this more of a J opening, in the fact that, so on this side here, it only comes down, say, maybe about a third of the way, whereas here on this side, it comes down about 4/5 of the way. This allows you to open this up into this pocket where you can put whatever it is that you need in here. So again, I've got some more tools, I've got some spare gloves, and it will fit. Now I'm guessing they've done this on purpose. So this is roughly the size, well, it's the size of a Glock 18, and that fits in there, no issues whatsoever. On the inside here, there is a D-ring, so that you can attach some keys to it maybe, or if you want, you've got your car keys that you know you're going to probably lose during the day. You can attach your car keys on here as well. Then on the inside, this is lined, which is really nice. I like the fact that they've lined this. They probably understand that there's going to be stuff that is hard wearing that will wear against this. Plus, because you have this pocket here, this is the back side of that pocket, which is where that lining is. But then on the inside here, there is another mesh pocket. So again, if you've got some tools, anything like that, you can put those in there. Now it looks like it's just this one. This seam here, you can lift up, and there is another pocket underneath here as well. So maybe if you've got some papers, maybe if you've got some range papers or something, you're a new member, you're clocking, how many times you've been, so that you can, full membership and all that sort of stuff. Then you can put additional bits in there as well, which again I think is a nice feature. So coming up the pack, or up the rifle bag, as I mentioned, we have this PALS webbing. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 7? 2, 4, 6. Yeah, it was 7. Thought I couldn't count them for a second. So again, if you have any Molle pouches that work specifically, well, I mean, Molle always works with PALS webbing. I don't even know why I said that then. But then you can attach this here on the outside. Just gives you a little bit more customizability with this one. In fact, I'd say that's one of the other major differences. And I know you already mentioned you don't have that pocket, you just have this pocket, you don't have a pocket there. But there's just a little bit more level of customization that you can do with this. Now, the actual pack, or at least the inside of the bag itself, it is a double zip, and you also get some compression straps here, or at least closures here as well, just in case you do have some heavy rifles in there. And then this will, if I pull these round, this will clamshell open up like that for you, so that you can get to see your rifles when they're in here. So this is definitely a double rifle case. Hopefully, as you can see here, I have 2 rifles in here at the moment. We have my Evo and we have my HK 416. Will say so these 2 fit in perfectly, and I can still zip it up, no issues whatsoever. I do have an AK. It is an AK with a folding stock. Now, without folding the stock down, it is very close to the edges. So that's one thing just to keep in mind with this version, which is the 100. It's 100 centimeters or 1000 millimeters long. So it is something that you definitely just need to keep in mind. Saying that though, I can fold in the stock and it fits in with no issues whatsoever. The only issue, or maybe kind of observation then, is because it then just makes your rifle that extra little bit thicker, so you have to almost kind of top and tail them. So you can see my Evo's facing that way, M4's facing that way, just to make sure things like the charging handles and all of that sort of stuff, the rifles sit with the the handguards sit with the stocks, and it just makes it sandwiching them in opposite directions, makes them fit in just a little bit better like that. Now when they're in here, so you can hold them in place. They do have these adjustable straps. You have two of them, one here and one here, and this works on a ladder system. So if I just undo these for a second now, move that little beauty to there, so you can undo these. You just have to take this buckle off here. When that buckle's been taken off, you can unthread these. So if you do want it to be a little bit smaller, then you can, well, actually you can make it a lot smaller. You can undo those so that it will hold on to your rifle better. Same with this side as well. You have just as much ability to be able to move these around here as well. This is held on to another piece of thick webbing here at the back as well, and then fastened down here, so it's really in a good position. Once I have this closed, I don't find that my rifles move around at all. Now it's important that you do kind of cinch these in, mainly because you want that to be as close to the handguard as possible there. That will stop it from rolling around. When you get it, if you just, I don't know, you just close your rifle around it, then you probably will find that it will move around just that extra little bit. What you can also do as well is, for some rifles that maybe are a little bit longer, there are little pockets here at the end, so you could put the end in first, slide that down a little bit more, then strap it in, and you'll find that it will keep that secure and nice in place as well. In between, well actually let's come on to the top part. The top part is exactly the same. Hopefully you'll notice here, so we have one here and we also have one here as well, and they will fit perfectly around your handguard and the stock at the end. Also, if I did want to extend this to its fullest, it does have the suppressor on the end there still. That's just tucked underneath here. You'll see that it will still perfectly fit in there. In fact, I probably could, I'm trying to do this one-handed, but if I wanted to, there we go, that will also fit in there as well. I haven't took my sight off this, and it will still fit in with the sight on there as well, still with just enough room to make sure that it doesn't bang on things. But the way that this is orientated is that when this sits up like that, the sight is at the top, and then yeah, your hand is down there at the bottom, so there's less of a chance of the sight being knocked. And then in between the two, you have this panel. So the panel can be removed if it is that you are just carrying one rifle for the day, and you want to take this out. I guess it would save on a little bit of weight, not a massive amount. It's probably about 10 mil of padding. You can just push that back on there, and then it will make sure that your two rifles don't bang between each other when they're together in the case. Now we've got everything closed back up, and as I mentioned, the last little bit I guess is your carrying options on here. So I'm just going to lift this up. Here at the top you have these two grab handles that sit either side of the zip, so you're not putting any stress on the zip whatsoever when you're carrying this. As far as grab handles go, it's 2.5 inch webbing that is then folded. It's nice, it does exactly what it needs to do. There is also, which bizarrely it's kind of on the underside, which I guess makes sense because the zip would be on the opposite side, so it still makes sure that it doesn't add any pressure to the zip. So you have this 2.5 inch webbing here that you can carry this like a satchel, And then finally, the other option is that you have 2 shoulder straps here, so that you can carry this over your shoulders as a rucksack. I do like this option, mainly because, you know, you're going to range, you don't generally just carry your bag, you've got other bits of junk and paraphernalia that you're taking with you. So it's great that you can just put this on your back and not have to worry about it. If it is that you don't like this though, these straps can be removed. So the rings that we have here will take those off, and then there's additional ones here at the side, so you can completely take these off. Similar to this one here, so I don't use this, however I've left it on there so that you can see how it carries with that. But I will definitely take this off once I've done this review. The last little bit is there's also a stabilizing belt here. So if you have got this on and you're wearing it as a backpack or a rucksack, and you know maybe you're going hunting and you need to take this for a long distance, it's bottom heavy. Well, obviously it depends on how you orientate your rifles and things, but if you know that you're going to be climbing around a lot to get from A to B, then you can also use this waist strap. It's not going to take any weight off your shoulders. This is mainly so you've got a little bit more stability, but if you're climbing in between things, then it's good to have that. It's also adjustable here, so when it comes to you, it's on this bottom ring here. But if you want to take this off, you can adjust it so that it's on here as well, depending on the length of your shoulders and where it needs to be on your back. Or maybe if you've got a belt, if you've got a belt and you want to move this up so that it's not riding on your belt, then you can move that up as well. But again, if you want to take this off, it's completely removable so that you can take this off. So there you have it. Now I think hopefully what we've seen today is the fact that whether you go for the Wisport Rifle 120 or whether you go for the Wisport Rifle 100, you're definitely getting good quality gear. Certainly something that I've found, and I'll lump everything together with this with Poland. A lot of gear that comes out of Poland is exceptionally well made and thought out. Not that I wouldn't think that the Polish would do that, they're very clever and industrial people. But it's just, again, another example of a great Polish product from another great Polish company. Now I do want to state, so this was sent to me from Military First. I've been working with Military First for the last 4 or 5 years. They're an absolutely great company in the UK. They're a stone's throw away from the Kingdom of the Moorlands in Manchester. Awesome team, great logistics, and so if you don't know who Military First are, I'm sure you probably do, but they are the largest, well, one of the largest military outdoor gear providers here in the UK. They also post throughout Europe and the rest of the world as well, so they certainly don't just cater for a UK audience. And they stock a lot of gear, they really do stock a lot of gear. So yes, a huge thank you to the team there. Love you guys. I've also got a link, sorry, I'll leave some links below, and there is also a discount code which you can use to get 10% off non-sale items if you use the code here. So yes, huge thank you to them. I'll leave some of their links below so that you can see more from them. I'll leave some of my social media links for here on Moorlander Tactical, and also my sister channel Moorlander EDC. And whether you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, as always, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay tactical. Just got pockets full of crap. I always end up with pockets full of crap, and then I decide I need to take the crap out of my pockets. Now, where were we? Jeez. It is warm today. Humid. Humid in the woods. Humid. It's a funny word, isn't it? Humid. Anyway. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander Tactical. Let's just make sure that we are recording. Cool. A few weeks back we looked at a rifle bag from Wisport, or Wisport, I guess, which is probably as they're being. Anyway, let's start again. I got the end perfect on that one. I've been messing up my endings a little bit, youth, but I got it spot on. It's a gorgeous day. Then it's coming out Friday, Tactical Friday, as usual. Hope you all had a great week, and I hope you all have an awesome weekend planned, either out adventuring, pew-pewing, going to the range, skirmishing for the day, whatever you're doing, stay safe, and fuck yeah, have some fun. Sweet. See you in a bit.